Welcome back to the Precision Trader. Just want to do another order book map recap of the stock market today. See where you could have been able to get some precise entries and exits by knowing where the orders were sitting in the order book to be filled. So with that said, we're going to start with AMC today. We see AMC started out, pushed up, then the overall market, again, whatever we talked about in the previous videos. One, we want to get if we can, look at the liquidity in the pre-market to get a bias. Also, two, what is the overall market? What's the overall market doing? Because you don't want to fight the trend, and the biggest trend is the overall market, the S&P. Yeah, you're not going to find a lot of stocks that can push against it. Take for instance, the S&P is down big on the day. You're not going to find too many stocks that are up on the day. So with that said, you always want to keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to start here with AMC. Some people think that AMC doesn't respect the overall market. It does whatever it wants to do. Well, SPY's been going down all week, and last time I checked, AMC's down on the week too. So anyway, with that said, we see that we opened up today, started dropping. Where's the first major level for us to see some buyers stepping in, or a bounce? Right here at $45. See that it came right there. Remember, we always like to put our entries, like to enter just on the front side of the liquidity, and also to if you want to really make sure you get some extra orders in there, put some on the back side as well. So just on the front side of this liquidity band, and on the back side. Because again, this is tons of orders wanting to be filled here, So you want to make sure you're not left at the altar, so to say, because a lot of times you don't when it makes this first initial touch, you don't get I'd say I don't know, probably I'd say maybe 40% of the time you'll get it to push into the liquidity and you get some orders filled in there. But a lot of times it starts feeling that initial bounce or rejections right there on the front side or the back side, depending on if it's going up and down. So with that said, AMC. Now again, others have been. I was just talking to a gentleman about options, scalping options. Me, I prefer to scalp shares. No, that's not a possibility for everybody, depending on the size of the account. So something to keep in mind whenever you're scalping options is, one, you have to be a little bit more generous as far as the bid and the ask. A lot of times, ideally you want to try to get the mid, but at the same time, if you're trying to get in right here just before this liquidity, you got to have your eyes on it. And a lot of times you're going to need to be in a market order, or you can try to configure the delta. So just keep that in mind. Also, too, what about when it comes to taking profit while scalping options? Well, in this case, let's just say you said, okay, all right, I want to get in here at $45. I think we're going to get a bounce there. And then I'm going to play it to the next major level, which in this case was $46. So I'm playing for $1. I want $1. So I'm going to take you over to an option chain, and we're just going to kind of go through it here. All righty. Well, hopefully that is on there. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully it's on. So with that said, you should see AMC right now in the option chain. I just put it on October 28th, just for round numbers here. So now we see the option chain here at $44. Now if I want to scalp this, one thing with an option, one thing I want to do is I want to be at the money. I want to do at the money option. Now you can get further away as long as the bid and the ask are nice and tight. Ideally, that's the primary thing, is make sure you have a good, nice and tight bid and ask, because that's just money you're giving away there. So with that said, so in this case, we'd have been scalping here, say we're at 45. So we would have been wanting to buy the naked call. So naked call option on this side. So we'd have been there. So we'd grab this. Now, before you ever buy any option, first and foremost, you want to see what the bid and ask. If it's got some monster bid and ask, got to be very cautious about that. And ultimately, you always want to shoot for the mid price. So in this case, mid price on this one, 557. Okay, so you'll click, say you want the mid price, but at the same time, you got to realize when you're trying to get in here, sometimes you're better off going a little bit below the mid price, just to make sure you can get the order filled. Because you don't want to be left sitting there like, oh man, you just missed it. So again, keep that in mind when you're trying to get your entry. So you're watching, you're seeing it's about to get to your level, get to that liquidity. You want to get in there. And then, okay, let's say hypothetically you bought this option. The next thing you want to know is right here is the delta. You got to know what the delta is, because take, for instance, if I'm planning on getting a $1 move. Well, my delta is going to tell me what I'll make per dollar, which will allow me to set my exit. Okay, so in this case, 54, and we know that this is, we know that we always multiply our deltas and our theta, all of our Greeks by 100, because again, you're dealing with 100 shares. Each one of these contracts is controlling 100 shares of stock. So, 100 times 54 cents will give you a $54 move per dollar move in the stock. So with that said, I want $1. Now for me, I want to be on the safe side. I want to say, okay, I'm looking for $48 or $49. Okay. So I'm going to set we're assuming you get one contract. I'm going to set my stop, my take profit for whatever you've got here, whatever your mid price. So you got the mid price of 560. Okay. Or 555 rather. So you got a mid price of 555. Well, I'm going to add $49 on top of this and set that as my exit target. Okay. So hope you can understand what I'm saying. So I'm expecting to make $1. I'm expecting AMC to push $1. So again, I want to find out, okay, my delta is 54. Okay. So that technically that means if we went exactly $1, I would make it $54 on whatever my entry price was. And so that would be my take profit. So that's the idea behind it. But at the same time, you want to be generous with it. You don't want to be trying to squeak out every penny with options, because again, the market it's not like shares where you can be extremely precise. Okay, I'm to the cent. I'm getting out at this penny. So with that said, just want to share that with you there for option. And then the same side for the, if you're buying puts, if you're buying the put side over here, same principle. So with that said, I hope that helps you out there. But again, as an option trader, scalper, again, what you need to know is your bid and ask. Make sure those are pretty tight. And again, you have to be willing to give a little bit off of the mid price. And also too, you have to know what this delta is. You got to know what your target is. Okay. Whether I'm going for $1, $2, $5 scalp, whatever that is. And then you got to be able to, know what your delta is and then do the math. So in this case, like I said over here, it's $54. Again, if I was looking for a $2 move, again, I would put it at about $49. I would have planned for $49 and multiply that by 2. If I was expecting $5, I'd multiply that by 5. So that's the idea behind it. So hope that helps for anybody wanting to scalp options there. So with that said, get back to BOOKMAP. All right. So we see that AMC did just that, came up to the $46 liquidity, actually pushed through it a little bit, and then proceeded to reject down right back to the $45 liquidity. Oh yeah. This is when I see this, see it coming here, it's knocked down below the liquidity that it pushed through there. I see it get knocked down, and then I see more sellers come in the book right here. Oh, I mean, it's almost guaranteed they're going to knock it back down. When I see them come because again, it absorbed all of them right here, absorbed all of them, and then it comes back into the book right here. Yes, that's telling me, hey, this thing is going down. It is heading to where? The next major level of liquidity. In this case, 445. Once it gets there, it bounces off, pushes up to the VWAP, 50 cents. And from there, finally comes back, tests the $45 liquidity, pushes through it. And we see, look at this, rejection candle, rejection candle, rejection candle. What's that tell us? We're heading to lower levels of liquidity. Ends up pushing, and where's our next major one? Down here at $44. You see that buyers stepped up a little bit just above it, 420. And yep, they pushed it all the way back up to $45. And sellers at the VWAP. Again, if you're below the VWAP, expect sellers at the VWAP. If you're above the VWAP and you're coming down to it, expect there to be, plenty of buyers there. So with that said, they knock it down to the VWAP, 44.50, knocks it back up. And yeah, nice. They finally punch it all the way back up to 45.60. And we see there, we have sellers starting to come in the book here. Again, very little people want to do business above at higher levels of liquidity, and lots of people wanting to do business below. So where's your bias? Your bias should be down to the, to the downside. So you get up here and you start seeing this, you're starting to get whiter, starting to change from white to yellow. That means, hey, there are sellers, sellers building up in the area. Ideally, the great rejection would have been 46, but couldn't even get there. 45.50 is where they knocked it back down. We get back under the VWAP. Look at all these rejection candles, rejection candle, rejection. Look at that. Rejecting another vote, the VWAP with, what is this? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 1-minute candles. Yeah, what does that tell you? She's heading to the next major level of liquidity under the VWAP. Sure enough, where is that at? 44.50. So a $1-ish drop. Again, if you're playing options, yeah, your stop loss, and that's meant to mention that too with your stop loss. Again, you use your delta to configure your stop loss as well. So again, if I'm going to do a $1 stop, okay, so I'm gonna set my order to, I'm gonna set it to to close out at, like we just looked at a while ago, the 50, what was it, a 54 delta? 54. So 50, okay, I'm gonna take $54. I'm gonna add it to what I paid and then put my stop, put my stop up there with that calculation. So again, that way you have your stop and your take profit. So if you can't have a stop and a take profit, you need to make sure you can do that. If not, if you don't have stops, you'll stop trading at some point. Trust me. All right. So with that said, yeah, ends up coming down here, bounces off this, pushes all the way back up to $45. And see it dumping in the aftermarket, which a lot of the market is. So that was AMC. What else was we messing around with today? Let's see. Oh yeah, Spxl. Again, remember in previous videos, we talked about how Spxl gives you, again, this is not the futures market, a futures market order book. So because of that, we can't see the liquidity in big ETFs like the SPY. Here, I'll give you a prime example of it. Instead of just telling you, I'll show you. It's just not clear at all. Just had somebody today mention how useful Spxl was because of the same fact. And it was quite frustrating whenever I first started using the order. I'm like, oh man, SPY is going to be, SPY is going to be so easy to trade now that I have the order book. Did I not hit 12 hours? Maybe I didn't. Well, in that case, be patient with me. Come on. All right, so this is SPY. And as you can see here, yes, you don't get a lot of direction. You don't see clear levels in the SPY, and it's even more uncleared throughout the day. Now, if we go to Spxl, we'll see that we have more defined. And again, Spxl is the triple ETF that mirrors the SPY. I mean, they move identical. So with this, of course, you see tons of liquidity in here. But again, you see the bigger bands of liquidity. Take, for instance, today we were playing the bounce off of 117, which was, what was it, 443 or 442 for spot. I don't know, 44. Yeah, I think it's 442 for SPY. So again, we were expecting a bounce here. I'll show you that in the server. We talked about it. But anyway, got a nice bounce here, bounce to the VWAP. Bounce to the VWAP, rejected back down, buyers in this area, pushed it back up to this next major level of liquidity at 118, and the VWAP rejected there, pushed all the way back to this liquidity, pushed up, bounced it up, finally broke through it. And that's another thing we talked about, and that said if we test again, more than likely we're going to break through it for lower levels. And sure enough, we did. And that held for the majority of the day. And we see in the aftermarket, we're having a nice little dump fest in the aftermarket. But me personally, I'm buying it up here at right here in the aftermarket right there, because I think she'll bounce. I don't know if very rarely will you push through the 50 MA daily like we did today, and then not have a day where you come back up and touch it and retest it. So for me, I'm pretty confident in that. That push back up and retest. So with that said, that was Spxl. Tesla, love my Tesla. All right, so let's see what Tesla looked like today. And again, keeping in the overall market, what was the overall market doing? Well, SPY started falling through the floor. And why did that make me, very brave when it came to shorting Tesla? Because I know Tesla moves very much in lock and step with the S&P. So pushed up here to 760. Why was I, again, at this point, SPY was already starting to dump. And Tesla was trying to push to this liquidity up here. Beginning of the day, you can get that, but I'm like, it's going to be short-lived. Tesla, if SPY continues to drop, it's going to drag Tesla right down with it. So needless to say, this was an easy scalp, 660, 661. So we shorted it here, sent the alert out to short Tesla. What was it? What was the other one that we shorted? AFRM. We shorted AFRM and Netflix. Yeah, I think the other one was Netflix. So shorted all of them. So with that said, pushes up to this major level of liquidity here. And again, when I see multiple bands within $1, I mean, for me, it's easy. Now, if there had been no bands here, prime example, if I would have seen it had just been 60 and then 65, really nothing in between here, more times than not, especially if it's a day where SPY is holding, I mean, it's almost guaranteed. Once it gets some support candles on it, it's going to this next. I mean, it's like, it's gravity. So, but with that said, when I see, nice levels of liquidity at the dollar levels in between a $5 level, that always, more times than not, she's gonna reject back down under this major level here at 760. And sure enough, she did. So with that said, comes down, buyers tried to step in right here. They pushed it back up to 760, 758, pushed it down to 758, bought it back up to 760, and they came right back into the book. Because again, think of this in live time. All we have right here is this one and this one. Well, as this comes down, find support, these buyers, as soon as this starts rejecting, these buyers come in the book. So we we have a leading indicator that it's going to bounce right here. All right. Sure enough, it did bounce right here, the VWAP, and they pushed it right up. And as it's bouncing here, these sellers, you're starting to see them come into the order book. Goes from, this clear, this blackish bluish. Now it's bam, they're starting to come in. So what does that tell me? They're ready to knock this thing right back down, and SPY is dropping as well. So it's almost free money. With that said, knocks it down to the VWAP. They try to buy it up. Can't do it. Gets under the VWAP, rejection candle. More sellers come in right below the VWAP, telling you that this thing is going down, Charlie Brown. And where is it going? Where is it going? To the next major level of liquidity. And where was that? 750. And look at that. Comes, kisses it, and then buys it right back up. I'd love to tell you that I saw this one, but I was taking advantage of something else at this time, and I just missed it. Which, I had no excuse. I should have already had my order set right here. Yep, should have already had my order set right here. And again, if you're scalping options, you have to do the math with the delta. So take, for instance, say it's, at 752 and you're working with a 50 delta and it's $2 away from your target. Okay. You want to add $100 more to the contract, or subtract in that case, subtract $100 more from the contract if you're going to buy a call. So take, for instance, if your call is 300, okay, tells us that it's 752, you're $2 away. You got a $50 delta. Okay. That means you're going to move $2. 50 times 2 is 100. All right. And your contract is $300. All right. So I'm going to subtract $100 because I know $100 is going to disappear on that contract off of that option if it goes down to 750. Okay. So that's the math you do to be able to get your exits. Okay. And then you got to be able to say, okay, what's your target? What is your target? In this case, you're looking for $2 to $5. Play it safe, $2 to $5. What did you end up getting? Actually ended up getting almost $9. Okay, but again, play it safe. Play it back to the VWAP. Play it to the next major level. VWAP was 756. So you had your entry here on your scalp option. Okay, you say, all right, well, I'm getting in there, and then I'm gonna, have my stop loss say, $1.50. So I'm, we're gonna risk $50, $60, $65 for this contract to be able to make, $4, $5, $6. Okay, because again, in this case, you got in, say you did ultra conservative, say you did, $4, that way, just under the, you're under the VWAP, $4 on a $50, that's $200. That's a quick $200 off a $50 delta option. So nothing wrong with that. So I see it pushes up here again. SPY started getting weak, started falling through the floor, comes back down to 750, retests it again. Pretty sure I got in this one. And yeah, because again, what makes that level so confident? Well, there's really nothing below it. Very few people want to do business below 750. So that gives me even more confidence that we're going to bounce here again. Put your order in just in front. If you're scalping options, put your scalp order right there on the front side, and then give yourself $1.50 to usually $1.50 on these big ones, especially if you get some whipping. So yeah, $1.50, give yourself $1.50, and for this one, gave you back $10. So again, you had a 50 delta. Let's just say that you were like, what? I'm not going to play this. It's like, I'm not going to take the safer out and play this back to the VWAP, which has been $5. Not bad. $250. I'm playing it to the next major level of liquidity. Well, I can't blame you. Can't blame you there, especially once it got up here, got on top of the VWAP and started getting support candles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's showing some nice support on the VWAP for a push to the next major level, which was 760. I was sitting right here for a short at the close. Once I seen that thing pop up back up to 760, 761, I was like, yeah, I'll take it, $2 $2 scalp off of that. And sure enough, that's what it did. It gave actually $2. What did it give back? $2.50. So there you go. Hope that helps. Let's go with another one. Now, I was having some fun with MRNA going into the close. This was, I do not recommend it for the faint of heart or those without an order book. Because man, this baby, it got wild, especially into the close. All right, we see the overall market is falling through the floor. MRNA right here at 440. Yeah, there's been sellers here all week long. Sure enough, it pushes up through them a little bit. Spies falling through the floor. Where, you know, this was just like Tesla. It's like, it's coming down. And sure enough, it did. Falls all the way down, gets under the VWAP. We see these buyers trying to come in here. These are also people, you know, where their stop losses getting hit. That's why you can have instances where it'll hit a level and just fly through it because you just had tons of stop losses hit. So that's why you have to be safer on the way down with the order book. On the way up, I see these major bands. I mean, it's almost guaranteed that I'm going to get some degree, you know, I'd say probably 8 to 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get some degree of pullback, easy scalp. But when we're heading down, you can get the trap door effect. So with that said, you want your stops for sure. Yeah, and when the overall market's falling through the floor, you want to be quick to take profit because you can see it came down here, this first major level of liquidity, 430, pushes it up back up, you know, $2 or $3, comes back, pushes all the way through it, and trap door to the next level of liquidity, 428. Thankfully, they weren't too far apart. When I see that, that's actually a good sign for me. When I see two big bands close to each other, yeah, I have no issue putting orders on this side, the front side of this liquidity and the front side of that liquidity, buy orders, long orders, calls, whatever you can call it, and to play the bounce. So this one actually gave a, this one actually gave like a $2, $3 or $4 bounce. So again, it pushes up. They come in, sellers come in right there, knock it back down to this liquidity, push it right back up to 732, $4-ish, comes back to them. Now this time, when I've seen a liquidity get tested multiple times, after that second test, I become very scared of trying to test, because again, the more that these candles hit on liquidity, the more they're absorbing orders. It's like little wrecking balls, the more likely they are to break through. And sure enough, we see that's exactly what it does. Breaks through it, pushes through it to $2 or $3. It's actually able to recover it, push it back up. Sellers come right back in and knock it down to 425 liquidity. Again, it's how you play this. Orders, you got orders right on the front side. Stop loss, $1.50 away, and you're playing, playing the bounce. In this case, you got $3. Not bad. On expiration day, when options are really cheap at the money, yeah, I mean, it's an extremely cheap time to scalp options. If you're somebody with a small account and you want to try scalping options, first, have an order book. Second, wait till Friday when options are cheap. Very, very cheap options. So you only got, say, $2,000 to work with, and you're buying $200-$300 contracts. Yeah, you got a little bit more to work. Got a little bit more to work with there. So keep that in mind. Again, finally, it pushes through this liquidity. We start getting rejection candle, rejection, and then bam, dumps it. I mean, this dump right here was, yeah. You see it comes down. Man, now all of a sudden this thing just wanted to sell. So needless to say, this is where, my attention started, it started piquing my attention. And sure enough, knocks it all the way down here to 407, and then pushes it all the way back up to Sellers here at 420. And sure enough, they knock it back down, push it back up to it, knock it down. And then, yeah. Was I on the wrong day? Did I just give you guys? Did I just give you guys yesterday? Let me make sure. That's no. Okay. Yeah, no, we're on the right day. Okay, I apologize. But anyway, so this is where it got very whippy into the close. And I was right. I was up in this. Whew, man, I did well off of this one. So all of a sudden it's at 326, starts falling. Now I wasn't a short here, but didn't hold on to it because I thought, yeah, you had the VWAP down here. I thought they might be able to hold it, but anyway, they couldn't. And then it was a trap door. So now where you had some bounces here at 415. I played in a bounce there. And then really you didn't have, oh man, I hate that it won't let me zoom in good. The first major level after that was like 412. So that's right there. Again, 410. Again, I had orders sitting at 410, just above 410, ready to go, but really 412. I can't zoom in enough right now to see it because of the way the map is. But anyway, but 412, you got to, I was watching this live at 412. Nice, had a nice band there. And if I could zoom in more, it would show it more if I could get to the 50-cent increments. But if I get to 50 cent, you won't be able to see it for some reason. But with that said, 412, there was, nice band of liquidity there, people ready to buy. And yeah, they bought that bad boy all the way back up to 420. I was shorting at 420 because again, had a nice band of liquidity. If I could show you the 50-cent increments over here, you would be able to see that. But you can't. But anyway, so knocked it all the way back down, all the way back again. Look how this is within. Look how fast this was all happening. I mean, you're talking about $10 moves and just, or these are 1 minute candles. So, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So 5 and 10 minutes making these $10 swings. So it's crazy. So with that said, to be able to trade situation like that, you got to have an order book. Because again, that's the only way. Falls all the way down here, back to this 412 liquidity. And they buy it right back up again. Where they push it back up to 420, 421. I was in scalps here. Again, I was quick to take, when this thing's flopping around like this, I'm quick to take my profit. So ended up pulling back like $2 or $3 off of that. And the VWAP. So pushes through the VWAP, support candle on the VWAP. She wants to go higher. It was pumping. 425, got into a short there as well. They knocked it all the way back down to 422. And then came back up, support, where they want to go to the next major level of liquidity, which was 430-ish. And that was, they jammed it into the end of the day. So that was fun. Made a, I actually made more off of this. I made more off of this than I did all the other trades, the other day. All the other was it the first 6 hours of the day. So, but yeah, this one's fun. But again, definitely don't recommend something like this unless, I definitely don't recommend something like this with options. But if you can do shares and you got an order book, this can be really fun. So with that said, we're gonna shut it down there. This one's a little bit longer than usual, but hope you enjoyed the education, and feel free to, if you don't mind, like the video, so I know that this is not being done in vain. Because again, this is stuff that I wish I would have known. That's God. If I'd have known about an order book at the beginning of my trading career, and then my thing too is when I started using it, I mean, BookMap's got they got a lot of people, but again, there was nobody breaking it down like this. So it wasn't for me. It was like, there just really wasn't really. Yeah, a lot of the people that are, they can't give you good strategy. Like, oh yeah, it's like, no, it's like, I want to. So for me, using this thing for, oh man, yeah. Let me see. I've been using BookMap now for this year. So with that said, watching it every day, just seeing how it and trading with it live. And again, this is what I started, putting together. And I'm like, man, this is it. This is a extremely powerful strategy and, way to trade that. Now, if you go to BookMap, again, this is the Thinkorswim beta version. So again, this is just the basic of the basic. But if you go to BookMap, straight to them directly, you get they got all kind of other features and tools and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, highly recommend you if you really want to get all the bells and whistles. It's right there. But at the same time, for me, I wouldn't get any use out of the bells and whistles. For me, it's like no, it's like I don't even want all the the volume dots and all that kind of. No, I want to see candles, price action, and I want to see liquidity. So just keep it as clean as I possibly can. And for me, it's this strategy. I mean, it's working extremely well. So with that said, I hope it helps you. And feel free to go back and look at all the previous videos. Got a lot of education there. And thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. And as always, may the market be with you.